Hello, gals and pals. Welcome to episode 130 of Cocktail Hour. I'm Andy.
And I am Sherry.
And in the flesh is...
Colette Moody.
Can you believe it? Do you guys hear the heavenly choir? I think I do. I'm just saying. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. And we want to get the important things out of the way because, we're drinking. So we got to talk about that. I am having a spicy Bloody Mary.
Oh,
Sherry's recipe is divine, I got to tell you. What are you having, Colette?
I'm having a margarita.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'm having something very unexciting, cranberry juice, but I'm having it in a very exciting container. This is from Colette Moody's Cafe Press Shop. That I've had this for a really long time. It is, and it says always ample portions at the bountiful teat. And I use this for my D&D group in person with small children, and they, teenage boys, not small children, with teenage boys, and I catch them looking at my mug regularly. So at my tankard.
Do you still have the site, Colette? Is it still active?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe we should tell the listeners what the site's called. It's cafepress.com.
The name of the web store is Underpants Jones.
Underpants Jones.
Named after my dearly departed pit bull.
Aw.
Yeah, she liked to rummage through the laundry, and she would find all the underpants and strew them out on the floor and then roll in them.
That's love right there.
So we called her Underpants Jones.
Very
and
nice.
There's a little picture of her with a pair of underpants on her head.
That's right. I do remember that it's on the website, isn't it?
Yeah, Laura drew that, so it's
Very
an
nice.
homage.
Well, we'll put a link. I will put a link to Underpants Jones in the show notes for the post, so that everybody can go there, because there's a lot of really fun stuff out there.
Yeah, there is. I used to have like an iPad jacket, but I wound up going to a different iPad and it didn't fit that one. So I gave it away to somebody who really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, man. So that was awesome. Repurposing.
I have a T-shirt upstairs someplace that I'm too large to fit into.
Me too. Oh my gosh.
Me T-shirt.
Oh Lord, have mercy. So I wanted to take a moment to thank our generous listeners for their contributions recently. We did a little call out because we had some dues that had to be paid to maintain this lovely quality website. And thanks to the generosity, we were able to pay for what we needed to pay for. And then we had a couple of dollars left over. So we're putting it back out there. And I think we have an award. Did we not just give somebody?
We did. What we've decided to do is, while we have funds available, and it's really tough on us because we have to pick the book that we're going to read and the day we're going to read it before the show. So we already have our next book picked and the next show date. And what we're going to do is we're going to give away a copy of the book, either ebook or paperback, to somebody who leaves a comment in plenty of time for them to read the book along with us so that they can enjoy a spoiler-free show.
Oh, we're going to do spoiler-free? Damn it.
Well, we should really be, so that Colette doesn't.
That's true. That's true. But you guys can talk about what you want. I will probably end up finishing this at some point anyway.
You totally should, because it's a great book. It's a lot of fun. All
right. So those who are listening, you have until the end of March 2018 to put a comment in on our site so that we can pick a winner and get the book over to you before the next show, which will be April
14th.
14th. Thank you, Colin. April 14th.
And the book.
Oh, yeah. Ta-da! Where's the drum roll?
Andy picked the book this time, so if it's bad, it's Andy's fault. I picked the book this time. It's good. Colette picked the book last time. It was good. So we're due a bad book, I think.
No pressure.
No pressure. So the book that Andy picked actually sounds really interesting. It's called Fata Morgana, and I forget who it's by, but there's an airplane on the cover, and there's some time travel and World War II stuff, and it sounds really good. Sounds fun.
Andy, I thought you did not go for time travel.
No, I don't like flashbacks, which isn't.
Oh, okay. So it's the time jumping that you have a problem.
Yeah, I have a real problem with that. It's like, if you have to jump back and flashbacks that fucking often, maybe you should tell the book in a linear fashion.
All right, I don't disagree with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Today's book did have a few kind of odd flashbacks, but they worked really well. And I don't see how you could have written the story better doing it linearly. So, linearly, you know what I mean. Anyway,
Yes.
The drink is already taking effect. So today we're going to be talking about The Rook by Daniel O'Malley.
That sounds right.
I forgot to write it down. Sherry, is it Daniel O'Malley? She's not even paying attention. Anyway, so I don't think, can you hear me? Oh no, we're having technical problems.
I can't. No, I can hear you.
Uh-oh,
I had myself
we're really
on
having
mute
technical
because
problems.
I was doing different things.
Oh. Okay, so we're going to presume it's Daniel O'Malley, The Rook. I was assuming that Sherry would like to do a short summary of what this book is about.
I can. I think the best way to describe it without really going into a lot is just to say that it is a cross between X-Men and X-Files.
Yeah.
I really think that that's the best way to go. There's see, my dog agrees. My dog agrees.
The dogs are on duty.
But it's about a woman who is part of this secret organization called the Sheke, and they are they kind of deal with all of the UK's supernatural weird shit that goes on, and it starts out with her kind of coming to with no memory. And she learns about herself and what's going on through letters that her previous incarnation, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to say too much.
Well, I think you can, you could give more information about the opening scene where she sort of awakens in a park surrounded by
dead people,
all wearing latex gloves.
Right.
And she clearly has had this shit kicked out of her.
Right.
And she has no memory of who she is or how she got there.
Yes, I have the summary up. You want me to read it?
Yes,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Miffany Thomas awakes in a London park surrounded by dead bodies. With her memory gone, her only hope of survival is to trust the instructions left in her pocket by her former self. She quickly learns that she is a Rook, a high-level operative in a secret agency that protects the world from supernatural threats. But there is a mole inside the organization, and this person wants her dead. As Miffany battles to save herself, she encounters a person with 4 bodies, a woman who can enter her dreams, children transformed into deadly nightmares, and unimaginably vast conspiracies. Suspenseful and hilarious, The Rook is an outrageously inventive debut for listeners who like their espionage with a dollop of purple slime.
Yes. I think the big thing for me with this book is that I read it once before and I forgot just how funny it is. There are just so many great humorous lines in this. Miffany herself is sarcastic, and I just really enjoyed the book. But before we go any further, I've been trying to get Andy to read this for at least a year.
Yeah, more than that, absolutely. Longer than that.
Well, I think I just read it for the first time last year. So I was nervous that she would start reading it and go, "Oh, this is bullshit." But
like Gone Girl.
Oh.
For the record, Andy's the only one of us who actually finished this book this time around. So this is the opposite of Gone Girl.
But you had already read this, so you have completed it at some point
I did
in the past.
But I had completely forgotten how it ended up, and until I was moving forward, like, oh, that's right, right.
I have. This is not a non sequitur, although it will sound like it. I'm going to piece it all together. Did you guys ever watch Little Britain?
I've seen a couple episodes.
They have a skit where the one guy is always in some tight clothing in a bar, and I'm assuming a pub in England somewhere. And his tagline is, "I'm the only gay in the village," even though there's like gay people everywhere. And the bartender's name he calls her Mafonwe.
Oh.
Mafonwe, that's not true. Mafonwe, right? Well, when I read the summary, because I've read the summary before I actually started reading the book, I thought that's how the characters said her name, Mafonwe, until I was listening to the audiobook and it's Miffany, and I went, wait, what? So I go back and look at it, and phonically, Mafonwe looks correct. But no, apparently it's Miffany, and I'm sure there's a big story behind that.
Well, she even when it happens, it's not that big of a deal, I think, to say that she and her sister connect, and her sister said it differently.
Yeah, we've been saying it wrong for years or something.
Yeah, she's been saying it wrong her whole life.
Yeah, but she didn't say Mafonwe.
No, she didn't. She said something else too. Yeah. I don't know. We should let's see. Who do we know that's Welsh? Tig Ashton. She's Welsh. We should ask.
Well, you know, the stuff in Welsh is crazy. Man, they just don't even really have a lot of vowels, right? There's like L L F F G R L L, lots of double L's. And
none of it's like Scottish. None of the letters make the sound you would expect them to make once they're combined with some other letter.
And I want to say that there is a town in Wales that is the longest word in the world, or something crazy.
I've seen something like that. Yeah.
Can you pronounce it what? There? I mean, it's like the longest word in the world, but yet it's like a single syllable word.
All right, let's see what the Google says. Okay. Wow. All right, I'm gonna copy and paste this because there is just no way.
Well, why don't you spell it?
All right. So, Lanfairwolgensen Manfranjugo. It's LLANFAIRPWLGWYLLGOGERMANFRONDROBWLLL. I want to know 4 L's together. ANTYSILIOGOGOGOCH. So is how it ends.
Oh my God. That's a hell of a name.
Yeah.
Holy shit. But we don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, I wonder if like Google Translate could do it. Maybe I should try that.
Oh my God. Okay, so the book also.
That's awesome.
So Miffany goes on to try and figure out, not only does she have to figure out how to continue with her day-to-day without letting anybody know that she no longer remembers anything about herself. Yep. She also has to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
And so as she goes, there's
mention that she's got letters and journal entries from her previous self that she is using.
Yeah, she continues. So there were a couple of letters, and they were in every one of the coats in her closet because she wasn't the Miffany one, who we will call Rook Thomas, because that's the way that they kind of separated who was who. So Rook Thomas put these envelopes in every one of the coats because she wasn't sure which one the new Miffany would wear and find them. And then there was this big binder where Rook Thomas had laid out all of the different histories that she would need to know, who the members of the court are. So there's this within the Sheke, you have people who don't have any powers at all, and then you have who are in support staff, and then you have the pawns. Everything is based upon chess, except for the top layer, which is the Lord and the Lady, and they explain why that is, because they actually have a queen and possibly a king at any given time, and they don't want to use those terms. So you've got rooks, you've got pawns, who are like the low level.
Who the hell would want to be a pawn?
Right? And then you've got the rooks, the bishops,
and the chevaliers.
Yes. And then the Lord and the Lady.
The chevaliers, that's the knights, right? On the chess table?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And they all do different things. Now, one of the, there's two of each group. So Miffany's counterpart is actually a hive mind of 4 people, 3 brothers and a sister, and they've mastered the technique of having their bodies in different areas doing different things. They all have different mannerisms and personalities, sort of.
Do you remember their names?
I should. I'm still listening. So there's the neat one.
Tidy.
There's Tidy twin, and
Cool twin, right?
And Cool twin,
the other one.
And then the handsome one, and then the woman, Erica.
Sister, yeah.
I think it was Erica. Isn't there a Thomas?
Eliza, maybe.
Eliza.
Yeah,
Eliza.
Yeah, and so they have traditionally been out on missions and taking care of business and stuff like that, and then Miffany was the organizer, and she was the administrative dynamo. She's got fantastic memory, organizational skills. She can get stuff done, but she's really been traditionally very timid. And the old Miffany, super reserved and quiet and non-confrontational, didn't like to use her own powers very much. And the new Miffany's like, fuck this, balls to the wall. You will not disrespect me. I'm going in here and tearing stuff up. And speaking of that, there's some great side characters. They have an American counterpart organization, the Croatoan,
which I thought was an inspired name for that organization.
What's the meaning behind the Croatoan?
Well, I think that was the writing that they found on was it a tree trunk out of Jamestown after everybody was gone?
Right. I remember that from that awful, awful, awful American Horror Story. That's correct.
It didn't also come up in the first season of, was it Horror House? Didn't the one character, she played a psychic? Didn't Croatoan come up before? Yeah, I think it did.
I'm not familiar with Horror House. Oh, you mean the season 1?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
So,
by the way, I know I'm jumping in here. The 4 kids' names were Alex, Teddy, Robert, and Eliza.
Right. Alex and Teddy. Those are the twins, right? Alex and Teddy. What was the other one? Alex, Teddy,
Robert.
Okay. So, okay. So then Shauna is an American. She was a bishop, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
So they kind of immediately hit it off, and there's some great lines between there. There's some really fun creatures, and I don't know. Did you get to the dragon?
No.
That was especially fun. So throughout the book, there's you get these. You get what's going on with the new Mythony, but then she's also telling some story. The old Mythony is telling some stories of encounters that she's had. Go ahead, Andy.
Do a journal, I think, isn't it? Is reading a journal that the old Mythony wrote.
Right.
That's where you're kind of getting the flashbacks with some of these stories. But when you're listening to the audiobook, sometimes it's a little hard to, because they, there's real no
it was abrupt.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was abrupt, and then you had to really kind of pay attention to figure what timeline you were in. But it's kind of funny because Sherry, you said that you have not gotten into Douglas Adams and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I found a lot of similarity in this book and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The way that it was narrated, the sort of snotty, sarcastic POV, the weird creatures, and the kind of inexplicably zany situations that they're in. And then the fact that when they get to a thing and they're not sure, they pull out the manual, and then the manual tells them what they need to know about the planet or the creature or the dimension that they're in or what have you. I found it very similar.
I'm going to have to give that another try because I know you mentioned before that you were surprised that I didn't like that. So I'll give it another shot.
Cool, because it really is one of my favorite books ever.
All right. Well, that's worth me giving it another shot just because of that. But
I really like this book very, very much. Sometimes I would be listening to it, and I mostly listen to it during drive time. And a couple of times I caught myself doing an errand that I didn't really have to do, so I could keep listening to it. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I was like, whoa, wow, sure, should be here, should be all like. Anyway, so, but one thing that really bothered me, and thank goodness that it wasn't the new Mythony. Sometimes I wanted to wring her neck because sometimes she was so whiny. I wanted to just, it just sometimes just before I was ready to just chuck the book, it would stop. She would stop being whiny. And then she would like do her superhero cape thing on and she'd be okay. But every once in a while, I just was like, oh, she almost took me to the brink. Almost.
Give me an example of when she was whiny.
I can't think of a time off the top of my head.
I have to think about it.
All
I
right.
really will. Because I'm trying to block those out, But everything was like, oh gosh, I have to go to the party.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that.
And it's like, what the fuck? I'm like, you've got powers, goddammit. You're a rook, motherfucker. Get your ass up and do what you gotta. Oh, the Americans are here. Oh, God.
Okay, well, I can tell you that I mean, the one thing that, and I don't know that it necessarily rubbed me the wrong way, but so she has no memory, but she is very, very clearly heterosexual because every attractive man that she meets, she is basically completely gobsmacked and unable to just form sentences or function as a human in society.
Well, I think she's well within her breeding years. I mean, she's a young woman.
So she was just ovulating all over the place.
She might have been. And she couldn't remember the last time she got laid. So,
So is it a transcendental thing that we talk about? What happened to the old Mythony? I mean, I understand they explain that she went bye-bye. But I mean, where did her soul go? And then the one that filled her up, like she's an empty vessel, where did that fucking shit come from? I mean, boop, she's right there. And yet she knows how to function in the world, but maybe not necessarily in the old Mythony's job per se.
It was just her memories that were wiped out.
So it's still the same chick,
but the same person, which is why she still had some of the same abilities. I sort of interpreted the fact that the new Mythony becomes assertive and wants to go into the field and is kicking in doors and shooting shit in the face. I interpreted that as the reason that the old Miffy didn't do that stuff is because she was so damaged by her childhood, right? So now she no longer has the baggage of her childhood because she has no memories.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same person, but, you know, she's like new and improved because, you know, now with 100% less damage.
Yeah.
All right. I was trying to
can
make
see
it harder
that.
than what it was, apparently.
Yeah, it's just fun, Andy. It's pretend.
Oh,
It's just fun.
No, but I like Colette's explanation. That's good. I'm going with that. I like it.
I'm channeling TJ now. It's just pretend.
Oh God, you're not right. You're not right. And you know, I gotta say, the author did a really good job of describing some of these situations that Miffy found herself in, like the skinless man.
And he was hilarious. And for anybody who's doing the audiobook, the voice that she does for this dude, when he gets all affronted. You do not talk to me.
Awesome. The narrator did a really good job. She really did.
Mm-hmm.
Although her American accent was not.
No, that was
not the best.
It was not the best.
Right. I was really interested in the odd house that had the fungus. That was really interesting. I don't want to give too much away so that people can read it, you know, just maybe pique their interest a little bit. But yeah, that fungus house, they had her sitting like 3 teams before she and the American bishop are trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And of course, the American bishop is packing heat.
The discussion about the guns was fantastic.
It was awesome, y'all.
She's like, why do you have such a big gun? She says, why do you not have one at all? I don't know.
It was good. It was good. And then the only one that was a little bit confusing, and I might go back and listen to it again, was the thing about the cube. I don't know. I got a little discombobulated by the cube because it's like, was it a spongy entity that was growing inside a building? Is that what it was?
I believe so. It was like absorbing all of the people inside there because it was a police deparment, I believe.
Yeah, I remember it was a police. It just, I don't know. I just didn't get a real clear picture of
because they were just talking about how because the one chick had like MRI eyes and
she could only see through walls, but she couldn't see through something else.
Right, but she was able to tell that they were pieces of people. Yeah, that were like melded together because like, there was somebody with a tattoo and all of that, and
yeah, I remember the tattoo, right?
Yeah, so I think it had absorbed all of these people and had just expanded to the limit of that.
The more it ate, the bigger it got, kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the book had all kinds of adventure, and there was, you know. I mean, it had, I wouldn't say twists and turns, but you enjoyed following along the adventure of Miffy trying to figure out, you know, where she belongs in the structure and how she makes a difference, and trying to figure out who the hell's killing her, and then understanding, you know, what her powers are. And it was a fun ride. It really was.
Yeah, I think that's the you know, it is a super fun book. You don't take it, you know, incredibly seriously or anything like that. It's a journey of, you know, watching Miffy grow and become more confident and figure out what the hell's going on. You also have a lot of great side characters like Ingrid, her secretary, and some of the more bizarre members of the court who just do weird things or are bizarre kind of people. Some of the stories.
They had a vampire too. Is that Eckhart?
Ulrich. Ulrich is the vampire.
The vampire Ulrich, and it was interesting because the author didn't take you down the old tired road of vampires and how they came to be kind of crap. Didn't the vampire in this story hatch from an egg?
He did, yeah. But they still left some mystery as to how the egg came to be and stuff like that. So you really don't know how that happened. Just it was very different. It's very different.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all kinds of people with different abilities. But I mean, your first comment about what this book is like is really right on point. You know, the X-Men meet the X-Files, because that's really.
I can't take credit for that. I saw that somebody else had written that in a review, I think on Goodreads, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, That's exactly
Perfect.
what this is.
Yeah.
It really is perfect.
Never a good one said it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Where did you leave off, Paulette?
I think I left off in the building with the mold.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I really got about halfway through, and I was trying like hell, but yeah, work was not cooperating, and typically that's the time when I listen. So yeah, it just got to a point yesterday where I was like, yeah, there's no way that I'm gonna have time to do this.
Yeah, God, but you were enjoying it up to that point, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there were things that were said. I mean, and I think this is another reason that it kind of reminded me of Douglas Adams. There were a couple of phrases that were said just in passing that were hilarious, like something cut through, the fog like a scythe through a poodle.
Yes,
that sounds about right. I don't remember any specific lines, but I've been laughing around the house for the last couple of days, and even today I was laughing about something, and TJ turned around and looked at me. She goes, "Are you laughing at me?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "Oh, it's that book again."
So,
oh wow.
Yeah, I guess you just need to keep your earbuds in all the time, just in case you do laugh at her, and then you can deflect. No.
That's a great idea. No, I wouldn't laugh at you, honey. No. There was something else I wanted to say. I don't remember. Oh, so right where you are, Colette, that scene is like the turning point. From then on, everything just really gets crazy for the rest of the book. It just kind of, after that is like the first big thing that we see that's like, oh, this is some weird shit going on. And after that, it just kind of keeps going and going and going. She uncovers some secrets.
Does Shauna hang around?
She ends up going back, but she hangs around for a little while, and they had that instant bonding type thing.
They did.
And you see Shauna again in the sequel.
Oh, good.
So is this going to be a movie?
I don't know. I think it could. I mean, it would be fun to watch. I think they could do a lot of fun stuff with this if they decided to do that. I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to see it be a movie. But.
Well, I mean, the reason that I ask is that it seems like Hollywood has run out of stories, right? Which is why we have to remake TV shows from the 1960s and 1970s into movies, and it's like, oh, good, we're gonna have another Flintstones movie. But but then there are books like this out there, which I think would probably lend themselves well to and now that CGI is as advanced as it is, you could probably do some cool stuff with effects and stuff.
I mean, thinking about it, really, a lot of the movies that have come out over the last couple of years that have been pretty popular have come from books. The Girl with All the Gifts, the new, Ready Player One is coming out.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
You seem really excited about that.
Yeah. I really like the book. It was fun. It was a fun book. It was kind of like the like this book that we're talking about. I mean, not in the same kind of way, but it was fun. And for Ready Player One, if you came of age in the 80s, if you were a teenager in the 80s
and I was
early 90s, and did anything, were aware in any way of popular culture. There's a lot going on there that would make you be like, oh yeah, I remember all that, because it kind of comes back. And Annihilation is coming out, A Wrinkle in Time. There are so many books that have been made into movies recently. So
Annihilation is the one with
Natalie Portman.
Right.
I read the book. I didn't care for it.
You read the book?
Yeah, Nikki really liked it. I thought it was super boring, and I didn't care. I wanted them all to die. It was one of those. I wanted the monster or whatever to come.
That's kind of how I felt just watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt last night when I watched Buried with Ryan Reynolds. It's 90 minutes of this guy in a pine box buried. He got grabbed by terrorists, held up for ransom. So it's his journey in that box for 90 minutes. And my brothers were really said,
Does he just die at the end? Because that would be
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes, he does. He dies in the end. And it's kind of an interesting twist too. But it was funny, about 30 minutes left in the movie, my brother was like, why are you watching this? Why are we watching this? And I said, because I want to see him die. I want him to die. And sure as shit, he died at the end.
Oh.
Did you feel better that he died?
I did, actually. I'm like,
we watched a bad movie last night, too.
oh my God.
Yeah. It was a night for bad movies, apparently.
Must have been. What'd you see?
We saw Night of the Living Deb, which I knew was going to be stupid, but I thought it was terrible. The acting was terrible. It was all bad. There were some funny lines in it. We did laugh several times, but it was not Shaun of the Dead. It was not that. It was pretty bad. It was
not Ash versus the Evil Dead.
And it was nothing that would be anything good compared to this. No, it was just bad.
I have the Evil Dead movies on my Netflix list because I've never seen them.
Oh, you can get them. You can get them dirt cheap as a bundle, also, if you wanted. The Evil Dead movies are my favorite. Evil Dead movie is The Army of Darkness,
and that's the third one, right?
Yeah, it's just a comedy. It's
kind of interesting because the first Evil Dead wasn't bad, but you could see that the filmmakers were new at what they were doing.
And it was an actual horror movie. The rest of them...
It was, right. But the second movie redid the first movie, but did it campy, like really campy. And I think I like the second Evil Dead better than the first one.
So Evil Dead 2 is really not a sequel to Evil Dead?
No.
Oh. So I don't need to see all three.
Watch the second one. Watch Evil Dead 2 and then watch Army of Darkness.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Evil Dead 2, that's where they kicked it into a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it was awesome. It was like Shaun of the Dead awesome.
Mm-hmm. It was good. Bruce Campbell is great in that role.
Bruce Campbell is always over the top, and that's why I'm really enjoying the Ash versus Evil Dead on Starz.
Yeah.
So crazy. And then you throw in Lucy Lawless in the mix, and you throw in Lee Majors in the mix.
Lee Majors is in it?
Mimi Rogers.
I don't think I realized he was still alive. Seriously, he's like one of those people where it's like, oh, so and so died, and it's like, holy shit, so and so was alive.
I did that recently. Somebody posted because Facebook. People on Facebook love a celebrity death. Oh my God, right? So you see like your entire feed, R.I.P. Red. Oh my God, I love this guy. I'm like, oh really? But sure shit, as soon as somebody's announced dead, boom, the feed fills up. So yeah, there was somebody just recently that died, and I went, he was still alive? What the shit? I thought he died years ago.
Yeah.
Completely surprised.
Yeah.
So back to this book.
Back to the book.
Right.
I really just want to share. I just want to say how much I enjoyed the scene that with the dude with the dragon being hatched.
My God! Right?
It's a scene of perfect karma, and so I feel like the book is almost worth reading just for that scene. Kind of.
I like that scene, but no. I don't know. I would read it just for that one, but it was good. It was a good scene.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, the one of the things with this book and the sequel is I was really pleasantly surprised on how well the male author wrote the female lead.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah. And there's I know that when Nikki and I read both the Rook and the sequel Stiletto, And there is a third one coming at some point. It's a trilogy. We thought that he did a great job of writing these female characters, but also that there's definitely some. We kept waiting for, especially in the sequel, waiting for the two women leads to get together because they had really good chemistry, and but it doesn't happen. Just putting it out there, it doesn't happen.
I was kind of feeling like Shauna and Mythony would hook up, even though she was like screamingly heterosexual, like I said. Yeah, she was just a complete sucker for a pretty man. But then, like the two of them, I don't know. I was just getting a sense that something was going on there. So
yeah, we did the first, and I guess I knew that it wasn't going to happen this time, so I didn't pay much attention to their connection so much because I was waiting. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I think we looked a long time ago, after we got done reading it, if there was any fan fiction out there for it. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Good idea. I bet there might be some.
Yeah.
Huh.
But, yeah.
Well, I went to IMDb, and there is something that is in development called the Rook. But it, because it's in development, it doesn't have anything.
No real details.
But it's kind of funny because like on the side menu here of IMDb on that page, there is a picture of Gal Gadot. And I was like, oh my God, is she gonna, because she'd be perfect as Mythony. But no. It's just a random picture. And who knows? I mean, this really could be a documentary about chess. I mean, we don't know.
But you know what? All right, let's play oddball pairing, seriously, because this would be awesome. Who, now, of the Mythony character, right? Take an unlikely actress out there. I mean, Gal Gadot would be a perfect Mythony, but she'd have to learn.
She's not British. Yeah.
Right, she had a little English accent. But I suspect she has the talent to do it. But throw somebody else in that role. Think of somebody like, I don't know, hypothetically, like say, could you imagine Reese Witherspoon in that role?
No.
So call it odd pairing. Somebody else would also be an odd pairing for that.
So wait, so you're saying find somebody who would be terrible at that role?
No, not terrible, but like if you were like, oh my God, why did they put her in that role? Not that she's a bad actress, but
just the casting itself, yeah.
Right, the casting, like, why would you? It's because Reese Witherspoon is cute. She can act, but she's got a really good Southern twang when she needs it. I just can't imagine. I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm been drinking. Okay, so whatever. But I don't know. I just sound kind of fun. Like, who else would you throw in there? Like somebody like, what the shit were they thinking? Because I mean, that's how most of the films I'm watching going. Why did they cast that person in that role?
My mind is totally blank. I cannot think of a single actress besides Natalie Portman.
And
that's just because we were just talking about her.
What about Emily Blunt?
Oh,
Emily Blunt?
She actually would probably be good in that.
She might be really good.
Yeah.
She might.
Angela Bassett.
She can play the American Bishop.
Yeah,
she's actually good. Yeah,
she should be Shauna. Yeah. Except for the fact of, dude, how old is Angela Bassett? Isn't she like 60?
I don't think she's that old.
All right,
are you watching 911?
No,
you should. It's great.
Angela Bassett.
She's awesome. Which reminds me of Jacqueline Bisset.
Who would also not be good in this.
She could be Lady Farrier.
All right, so Angela Bassett was born in August of 1958. So,
she's 60.
Yes,
wow, she is. She will be 60.
60 this summer. So
wow. She looks great.
She does.
She sure does. If you're not watching 911, you should. It's a great show.
Well, I remembered, I think that's why I kind of had a feel for how old she was, because I saw the commercial and I'm like, Angela Bassett should not be out there on the beat. She is going to break a hip.
Right?
She does it. She's badass.
I'm sure she.
Angela, if you're listening, you are badass, honey. You're beautiful.
That's right.
She's a regular viewer.
Eat your cake,
Yeah.
Ida May. It's good cake. Eat your cake.
No, not even right. Oh God. Oh God.
Are you? So, how much Bloody Mary have you had?
It's a double shot, but I drink it really fast.
Oh,
And
it's
I'm on
gone?
medication. I'm not supposed to be drinking.
What? Why are you not supposed to be drinking? Oh, all gone.
It was all gone like 5 minutes after we started the show. Jesus.
Oh, I guess I've been nursing mine. But so, like, I filled up like to here with tequila, and then I did like another little bit for Cointreau.
Hold on, you got to hold it up higher. We can't see where you're pointing.
Oh, okay. So I was like here.
That's the wait.
But you didn't have ice in there, right?
I did. I put a lot of ice because I do not like room temperature drinks.
You are my hero. You drank that much and you're still cogent. That's amazing. She's like, there's a fucking delay.
The things we're proud of as we get older.
Yeah, right? Oh, we're doing. So clearly from all of this conversation, the takeaway is please go buy a copy of The Rook by Daniel O'Malley.
And it's
very, very good book.
Yep.
Lots of fun, lots of interesting characters. There's action, there's adventure. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot of love.
But that's okay. I would think you would be happy with that. There's no romance.
It's like a well-developed female character written by a man. So I feel like, that's a big deal. It's kind of like dude whose name I can't remember who wrote that book that time.
Oh yeah, that one
thing. It was one that we read, but the male character was the main character was a male. He wasn't a female. The
was
guy.
It Cupid?
No, it wasn't that shitty one. It was the one that you liked. Where the guy like transmogrified into a robot body.
Oh.
Help me. Help me.
Was
help,
it Lock-In?
help mommy. Yes. Scalzi.
Daniel Scalzi. No, Scalzi. Eric Scalzi.
John
Scalzi.
John Scalzi. Fred Scalzi. Yeah. Somebody Scalzi. And
Somebody Scalzi.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I felt like he did a good job of writing for women as well.
Yeah, he did. He did a really, and I love his blog actually.
He's a good lefty, so
it's true.
Yeah, I gotta love that.
Yep.
Yeah, I would be curious to see more about Daniel
O'Malley.
O'Toole.
I don't know what else I don't know. Andy, do you still have him pulled up?
Who?
Do you still have the book info pulled up? Can you see if he's done anything besides Rook and Stiletto?
I'm looking now.
And Stiletto is equally good. I think I may have actually liked Stiletto more. I don't remember now, but I think I liked it more. And then
those are the only two I see.
Okay, Miffany is in Stiletto, but she's not the main character.
Would you like me to read the summary of that one?
Of Stiletto? No, because it'll give away stuff.
Well, we're not reading it.
Okay. I think she's saying it'll give away stuff in Rook.
It'll give away stuff in the Rook.
Oh, see, I'm glad you weren't drinking. And by the way, I got Google Translate up for that long ass name. There's a little voice thing. Let's see what it says.
Okay.
What the fuck are you?
Wow.
Right. So
can you put Miffany in there?
Imagine getting in a cab and just saying that.
I need to get a cab. What's the name of this town?
Oh, you guys are so wrong. I love it.
Wow.
Oh my God, you guys live closer, seriously.
You know, but they probably the locals are like, yeah, Beantown or whatever. You know, they probably have
It's go-go.
like a regular name for it. See, you say go-go, and I picture that chick in the Catholic school uniform from Kill Bill.
Oh my God.
Shows up with that thing on a chain.
That is such a great movie.
Yeah.
Such a great movie.
I got Laura a t-shirt with her on it.
Oh, really? That's a
Yeah.
great. That's such a great movie. So good. So good.
That is good. Wow. Well, we've got 10 minutes left. Anybody have any questions out there in the...
No, we have quiet. We have quiet people today.
In question land?
We have quiet folks.
Nothing. Okay, I'm going to do Google Translate for our Mifanwe character. Hold on.
Mifanwe.
Oh, it did say Mifanwe. Listen.
Mifanwe.
Not Miffany.
Finally. I think that's probably not right.
You think?
So be sure to leave. You can leave a comment here on the YouTube channel or on our website. Just leave it no later than March 31st, and we'll get you a copy of Fata Morgana by some guy whose first name I think starts with a B and his last name starts with an S.
Oh my God.
No, I think that's backwards. I think.
Oh my God. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up.
It's Stephen Beau something Baguette.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Boyer.
Stephen Boyett and Ken Mitchell-Roney? Not Rice-A-Roni.
Put that one in the Google Translate. See
All right, so did you know what a Fata Morgana was?
It's some kind of... I did read it. I don't remember anymore.
It's a mirage.
Ooh, really?
An unusual and complex form of superior mirage that is seen in a narrow band right above the horizon.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is the
is it like the thing? The Heedy thing?
The Heedy thing.
The shimmering.
Oh.
That's what I mean. The Heedy thing. You got to move your fingers like that. The Heedy thing.
I speak here.
It is the Italian name for the Arthurian sorceress Morgan Le Fay, from a belief that these mirages, often seen in the Straits of Messina, were fairy castles in the air or false land created by her witchcraft.
And McKenna posted a comment that said, "Here's my comment."
Thanks, McKenna.
You are in the running, McKenna. You are in the running.
Girl, it's a comment. Do you want me to read the summary of that book for people listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, all right, this is supposed to whet your appetite. Here we go. At the height of the air war in Europe, Captain Joe Farley and the baseball-loving, wisecracking crew of the B-17 Flying Fortress, Fata Morgana, are in the middle of a harrowing bombing mission over eastern Germany when everything goes sideways. The bombs are still falling and flak is still exploding all around the 20-ton bomber as it's knocked like a bathtub duck in another world. Suddenly stranded with the final outcasts of a desolated world, Captain Farley navigates a maze of treachery and wonderland, finds a love seemingly decreed by fate as his bomber becomes a pawn in a centuries-old conflict between remnants of advanced but decaying civilizations. Caught among these bitter enemies, a vast power that has brought them here for its own purposes, and a terrifying living weapon bent on their destruction. The crew must use every bit of their formidable inventiveness and courage to survive.
So there you go. This one's going to have love in it.
Love, babies. Love. You know how I love the love.
I know. I was actually, when I read the romancy part in there, I almost was like, can we find something else? But I had already poo-pooed something else that you had. Oh, the other two that you had put up, and I didn't want to push it.
You know, yeah, the other two she poo-pooed, by the way, y'all, because we got a few minutes. The other two were of proven track record authors. Robert McCammon.
Yep,
and Caleb Carr, which is, you know, the Alienist on TNT, just saying.
Are you guys enjoying
we already did that.
What, the Alienist? Or
we had already done a book from each one of those authors, so.
But Have you guys been watching The Alienist?
Well, I have.
Yeah, we got the YouTube TV now, so we watched a couple. We watched an episode last night, and I think we have one more before we're caught up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's not too
I've
bad.
got one.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? I'm really liking the look and the feel
Oh yeah,
and the grit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even if it's mostly CG, I think they've captured the early 20th century.
I don't think it is mostly CG.
I don't know. They did a really good job with it, but it's dirty and it's gritty, and it's 1900 New York, and it's absolutely wonderful as far as visually. I think, and I know Caleb Carr has been a part of this production, and I got to say, and you know, I understand they're taking a book and they're having to stretch it out over how many episodes. So I understand they're taking a little bit of license, and I get it, but there's something missing in the presentation. I don't know if it's, I haven't dwelled on it. I just know that I'm enjoying it, yes, but there's just,
I mean, to me, the thing that's the most obvious difference from the novel is because the Alienist, the novel, is all from John Moore's POV. And because this is not from his POV, it's not from anybody's POV. So I don't think that you have the same kind of character understanding, right? I mean, you don't have, you just don't feel a closeness to these characters because you're not seeing everything through John's perspective.
I'm trying really hard to take it as a completely separate entity from the book.
Yeah, and according to this, they filmed in Budapest because there is a feel in Budapest for, you know, Victorian New York City.
Well, it's fabulous. The sets and location is awesome. Costumes, it's awesome.
It is. It really is.
You have gotten past the Dakota Fanning then? You're not mad at her anymore?
Her face is weird. I have a hard time with just watching her. I'm trying to move past that. Like I caught myself, you know, a couple of times going, there's something not right about her face. I think it's her hair.
It's the eyes. Her eyes are very, very big and expressive. They're very big. It's almost like maybe she came out of the oven too early. I don't know. I'm sorry, Dakota, if you're listening, I love you. But I'm just saying.
So
throw me off.
She's a little too doughy and she needs to go back in for a couple of minutes.
Right back in the vagina. I'm just saying. I'm kidding.
She just might. She just might.
Oh my God, I'm serious. Sorry, Dakota.
You know, I want to go back to the whole thing that I always thought, you know, that maybe Sarah and Mary would hook up. So there you go. That could facilitate part of that.
I like the girl they got to play Mary, actually.
Totally different from anything that I had ever imagined.
But, you know, maybe that's part of why I like her so much. I didn't have a whole lot of communication.
Didn't the other Mary spoke, right?
No.
In the book?
No,
I don't.
No,
I don't
she was mute. That was part of the character.
All right.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, but the woman that they got to play this part, she might not speak a word, but
yeah, she's
she gets
great.
everything across in her facial mannerisms and hand gesture. Awesome. She's doing an awesome job.
Yeah. Before we go, McKenna.
I need another drink.
McKenna said that she experiences the Heedy thing quite often in the Mojave, and Cheryl Hansen is here. She said, I'm listening to the opera. I came in late. What did I miss? No, don't spoil it. I'll listen to you all tonight. We didn't really do too many spoilers, but
we tried to whet your appetite, kind of.
Yeah. There's still plenty of excitement and fun to be had, no matter what we said.
It seems like, you know, anybody who comes here should expect things to be spoiled.
It's true.
Even if it's just your afternoon.
I'm so glad you said it because I was just about ready to.
That should be our new catchphrase.
It could be.
Something will get spoiled, even if it's only your afternoon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And on that note,
someone who's sober, jot that down.
Oh, that's your Sherry. That's you.
That's my job today.
Some writing. Oh, goodness. I really enjoyed myself, and I'm really glad that Sherry recommended this book a few times, so I was actually able to, okay, let's read it. It was fun. It was a very fun ride. I enjoyed it very much and would recommend it, not just because of this show, but to other people I know as well.
So out of curiosity, what was it about the book that made you so hesitant to read it?
I think it just had... Sometimes it's like watching a television show or a movie. Sometimes you just have to be in the mood for that, either that genre, right? Or that type of story. Like if I'm in the mood for, I don't know, let's say a World War II, I'm not going to be open to reading a romance that happens in contemporary, I don't know, USA, right? So I think every time Sherry's ever mentioned it, I was in the mood for something else. Maybe, I don't know, vampire novel or something else that just was like, oh, no, I'm not in the mood for that. That's it. I mean, there was nothing else going on back.
There was nothing specifically about the plot where you were like, oh, no.
It was more like what almost all the books she recommends to me I hate, so I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna put myself through it.
Not true. Although you and one of my dear friends out in California recommended what the hell about the Carnival Freaks? What the hell is that?
Geek Love.
Geek Love. Both Sherry and my other friend, it's almost like, oh my God, if you don't read this, you are not complete. Like you cannot die.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, I'm just saying.
What I will say is you are either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I think it's interesting enough that you might love it.
So I tried to read it.
You did?
I tried. I think I got about 5 pages in and went, oh, fuck no. And
okay.
Wow.
If you don't love the first few pages, you don't bother going on. And that's I guess that's a nice thing about the book is because you really get an idea of what's to come. I mean, granted, it gets really weird, and we'll talk about it since you're not going to read it. I'll tell you later, the stuff that I found incredibly interesting about it. But that's something that I was surprised about, so I don't want to say anything, even though the book's been out for decades. Yeah. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I've had fun.
Oh, hold on. McKenna said.
What'd you say, McKenna?
Yeah, that was one of the things that McKenna and I talked about. Is her cats were named after the conjoined twins in Geek Love, and I saw the names of the cats in a picture on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, those are the twins from Geek Love, and she's like, yes.
Oh my God, you do.
Wow. Yeah.
Colin, have you read Geek Love?
No. I don't want to, I don't know that there is a way that I can say this without coming off like a horrible, horrible bitch.
Don't sweat it.
But I don't want to read anything that has conjoined twins I don't think I do. I don't think I do. I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible person.
I think that's just true now. Yeah.
But then again, let me ask Colette, did you watch American Horror Story Freak Show?
No.
No, she doesn't do any of the American Horror Stories.
No.
These conjoined twins were not like them.
Look, I tried American Horror Story. I got several episodes into season 1. And it was just kind of inexplicably dark and masturbatory for me. I'm like, who else needs to rub one out? I don't understand why is this part of the plot? What is going on? Who the fuck is she? And there's a lot of angry confusion on my part. So that little skit that I just did, there was just 50 minutes of that. I was like, what? Why? Why is that? Who is he? Why is he touching himself? What's going on? It was like that for an hour. And so after a few episodes, I was like, I cannot do anymore. I don't care enough about these people. And I'm so creeped out by the other people that I'm done. And then I never went back. And even when Lady Gaga was part of it, and I was like, ooh, that is a draw. But I did not care enough to go back and watch the Lady Gaga stuff and then when you guys were posting shit, it was like so creepy. Like just little 30-second ads for it, and there's like people coming out of the ceiling, and I was like, I don't think I could do this because ew.
You can just go play Outlast. It'll be fine. Just turn off the lights and play a horror game. No, that'll do it.
Oh my God! Right, like what was that? Speaking of games, there's Alien Isolation. Did you play that?
I did.
That's the
play
one that scared you.
That was the one that I was posting screenshots on Facebook because there was just like periodic soiling of my pants. You know, because I mean the whole premise of the game, there's no fighting the alien, like there's no combat, there's no I'm gonna get the flamethrower or whatever. It's all just hiding. It's just complete stealth. So yeah, it was kind of terrifying. Like, and so there were scenes where you would hide in a locker and you could sort of see through the slats, and then the thing would come, and then it would like stop and tilt its head because it could hear you breathe.
Oh my God!
Holy crap! And then just all of us, you would die in the most spectacular ways. Like it would rip the locker door off, and then you would just you see a hand come at you, and then everything's black.
Did you play this with the lights on or off?
I think I did it both ways. I think there was some daytime gaming where it wouldn't have mattered if I had the lights off or not. But yeah, I mean, you know, your adrenaline's pumping, and you're like so in the moment, and yeah, it's just like, oh, here, I'll get under this table and it will be fine, right? And then you just see like the xenomorph legs come by and it stops, and it's like,
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall watching you play that game.
I mean, in that way, it's a great game, right? It's fully immersive, although there were times where, you know, where I felt a little screwed because, you know, if you found a really good hiding place and you could kind of get an angle to see if it was going to go by, there were a couple of times where I saw that there were multiple xenomorphs.
Oh
shit! Really?
Yeah, it's like a xenomorph is in a place, and then you're waiting for it to leave, and it leaves, and then another xenomorph like comes down the stairs, and I'm like, oh come on! How many motherfuckers are there? That's not right.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
McKenna said you're about to make her pee herself.
That's awesome. Oh my
because
God.
it's scary, or
because you're making her
hilarious.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
well,
for good reasons. For good reasons.
I like how she's so modest. She fluffs it off. But seriously, you are hilarious, Colette.
It's true. It's true.
Thank you.
You know, I gotta thank you. Every time I think of toilet seat, I think of that show.
What?
From that the toilet seat from Killing Cupid, our favorite bad book.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, really, the tagline should have been like, you know, for that stalker who you want to come around and be your man.
I'm going to show you that's my fidget spinner.
Oh, it's a pile of poo. It's Mr. Hanky.
It's a poo. Micah and I got him for Christmas.
Mr. Hanky Christmas poo.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Why is the poo so happy?
It's a poop emoji. He's a happy guy.
Yeah, I get that, but I guess I don't understand.
Because I'm handling him.
I don't understand his joie de vivre. Because he is a turd, and come on, that can't be great.
He's out of the colon? I don't know.
Agreed. The colon cannot probably be a great place to be. So maybe you're exactly right, Andy. Maybe it's like,
free.
I got
free. I'm free.
See,
All right,
so
then,
maybe
we're
I've
late.
just been seeing the colon as half full.
So wrong. And on that shitty note, y'all, we are leaving. So tune in a month, give or take. April 5th, 14th. We'll be here 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to be discussing Fata Morgana. Get your comments in by the end of March so that you can be eligible to win a copy of the book that we're going to be reviewing. And thank you for tuning in. Tell your friends. And we love y'all. So long, everybody.
Bye, everybody.